Hello everybody and welcome back. Good to talk to all of you again today. And today we're doing round 2 of the ring. And the mission requirement was to get 5 kills with French ships. Which means we're aiming for that Kraken. So I decided to play the Normandie. She was one of my favorite French battleships. However, she did have a nerf happen to her. She originally came with 1.8 Sigma, so that combined with 12 guns means that her gun performance felt at times very much like the way the Arizona would feel. Very nice salvos and everything, but it was too powerful. So they took that away and they put the Sigma down to 1.6. She's not nearly as scary as she was before. Now, well, now you do really kind of have to hope the RNG blesses you, because when you take shots, especially longer distances, sometimes you can see really, really crazy salvos. But still, I mean, this is a ship that is very, very capable of still getting you those Krakens or that that 4-kill one, the discount Kraken. It happens more, I would say, when you're actually top tier and you're dealing with like tier 5, tier 6s. So sort of think about the way that Arizona can perform in those lower tier games. Normandie, of course, does also have the advantage of being faster, so she doesn't have that speed issue that the Arizona does. But if you were to get into the higher tier battles, and we're talking like tiers 7, 8, those kinds of battles, it definitely becomes a lot more challenging now, just because you are kind of hoping that when you do have an enemy broadside, that RNG does good, and you get your shells where you want them to. Normandie, of course, also has one major weakness, which is the fact that this ship has non-existent anti-aircraft. So if an enemy carrier decides that they want to come and get you, you are going to be in trouble. So in this particular battle, you can already see where that trouble is going to be coming from. Enemy team has a Saipan. And that means if I'm in a Normandy and I see a Saipan, I'm worried. Because if that Saipan wants to come for me, there's not much I can do. And there's not much I can even do to reduce the power of that strike. So, you know, let's hope for the best, and let's hope that the enemy CV doesn't take too much of an interest in me and decides to kill the rest of my team so I can maybe go and get this Kraken. One other thing, and it's like a kind of a strategy, if that's even the way to say it, is that you're really going to have to keep an active eye out for enemy targets that are low HP, so that maybe you can go ahead and land that finishing blow. It's actually very much counter to how I normally would play World of Warships, though, because typically speaking, if the enemy ship is really low and they're probably going to die within, let's say, the next 10 seconds to smaller ships firing HE, I normally would just leave them alone and wait till the smaller ship kills them off, assuming that they're not things like destroyers, you know, things with super high concealment that can get away. But if it's like a cruiser that has no heal and low HP, I'll just let someone else finish them. But in this particular mission, I am going to go for those little KSs at the end. And by that, I mean kill securing. Yes, not the other term. Pretty much you gotta do what you gotta do if you really want to get Kraken, especially when you are bottom tiered, which I am in this particular battle. Now, obviously, as a battleship, the first order of business is really to prioritize certain targets. Obviously, enemy battleships are not going to die very easily, as they have a lot of armor, they have a lot of bulk. Sure, they can provide you with a lot of damage, but if you're going for those Krakens, you really want to go after the targets that you're more likely to be able to kill, maybe outright in one salvo. So priority targets are really going to be cruisers, because you can dev strike them. Second, you probably want to go for the destroyers when you can. There's a destroyer that is easy to hit, you want to shoot a destroyer. Mostly that's just because to help your team. You still want to try to win, right? That is, after all, the objective of the game. And then finally, if there's nothing else that's easy to hit, then go for a battleship, especially if a battleship is giving you a broadside. You still want to punish them when you can. As of the moment, in this particular battle, I am playing more defensively, as if you're taking a look at the mini-map, the enemy team is mostly around where I am right now. My friendly team, if you take a look at it, most of our tier 8 battleships, the Normandie, the Bismarck, they're all going up on the other side. So as long as we play defensive here, theoretically speaking, eventually we will pincer them. And once we pincer them, the chances of winning actually increases, so long as our own team doesn't go full potato, go onto the other side and get themselves absolutely wrecked. But for now, we're okay. We're up on points and we are up on kills, and positionally speaking, when I was initially looking at the minimap, we seem to be doing okay. Alright, so 3 enemy targets here. There's a Gade, an Amagi, and a York. First priority, see if I can get my guns onto the Gade. I am only running a 10-point captain here, so I'm not going to have the faster turret traverse, and that at times makes the ship a little bit challenging to play. Gade did manage to fall off of detect, so the only other target that was showing me a broadside at the time was the Amagi, so I'm going to take a shot at the Amagi and... like, nothing. It happens. That's okay. It's one of the things about playing the Normandie, especially when you are in a tier 8 battle. Anyways, watching the enemy Saipan wreck Al Nelson, which means that enemy Mogami is, well, temporarily not in as much danger, but as soon as I get my guns around, I should be able to shoot at him. Mogami has its issues. It's not meant to be a close distance ship. Mogami needs to be a little bit more standoffish. Generally speaking, a little bit more in a kiting position and not in the front lines. If you're in the front lines with Mogami, you are going to get nuked. And so this Mogami decided to come too close to us and is going to be paying a price. As you can tell, already getting hit hard by other ships. I'm going to get my guns all turned around here. There we go. And unleashing a salvo here. There we go. Salvo out. And waiting for these shots to land. And... oh, for... don't you just hate it when you get those Citadel hits at the very, very end when the enemy ship has like a sliver of HP and then you're like, oh, joy, I got it with like 30... okay, that's fine. Waiting for the guns to reload. There is another target. There's a Gade there. Hey, at least I picked up a kill, right? That's something. Alright, there's the Gade. Come on, guns, reload here. Okay, waiting to see what the movement of this Gade will be. Is this Gade ever going to go... yep, I think he's going to go turning his side here. There we go. Salvo out. He's giving me that side, and alright, I've at least picked up kill number 2. Alright, so back to taking a look at the minimap and the current overall situation in the battle. This is something that you really should do somewhat frequently during the span of your own battles, is to take a look at the minimap, take a look at the movement of your own ships, the enemy ships, and to try to get a feel for what's going on here. It is very clear that as of the moment, we're still doing okay. We're ahead on kills, we're ahead on points. The enemy team is getting pincered in. This is the reason why I'm going to try to head in this direction and try to pincer them in correctly, because there are ships in the north that are applying pressure. The Bismarck, the Amagi, they're all adding pressure in that area. I just need to kind of come up over here and then continue to apply pressure on this side. Because if you pay attention to the enemy team's Amagi, Amagi initially was running north, the York is starting to run north, New Mexico is starting to turn around as well. So this is a very, very good opportunity to kind of do this on this side. If you can eventually pincer them onto flanks, it actually makes your job kind of easier because it's harder for enemy ships to angle against one target on one side and another target that's basically got their broadside on the other. It becomes very, very hard, and this is why pincers can be so dangerous. Assuming we don't go ahead and lose more ships on that northern group, and we did lose the Bismarck. One of the things that unfortunately happened, if you actually were paying attention to the minimap, is initially we had a nice group over there. We had the Bismarck with like a destroyer, and there was a Cleveland, and then there was the Amagi with also another Cleveland. Well, take a look at their group now. It's kind of spread apart now. Amagi's by himself. The Bismarck that originally had that Cleveland's now going back to the Amagi. The destroyer has basically gone to the middle of the map for I don't even know why, and then of course the other Cleveland also decided to go towards the middle. Don't know why they decided they needed to do that. Now, of course, if you take a look at what's going on, the Amagi and the Cleveland, now they have no destroyer support, and the enemy team have ships over there to counter them. So, unfortunately, our northern group is going to get very much stomped. The southern group over here, I mean, take a look at what I'm fighting. I'm a tier 6 battleship fighting off an Amagi. There's a New Mexico that's not too far away, and there's a Bismarck that's also not too far away. On my side, of course, I do have my own division mates, but one of them is playing a Duca d'Aosta, which is okay if you're playing tier 6, maybe even tier 7 games, but when you're running up against tier 8 ships, the Duca d'Aosta does really run into its share of issues as well. I do have a Shinonome as well on my side, but it is a Shinonome, right? Expend your torpedoes, and that's about it. Anyways, we're still going to fight, obviously. We're going to do the best we can to do as much damage as we can. Enemy Bismarck is giving me somewhat of a side to shoot at, so I'm going to take a shot at him. Hopefully I can get some damage while he's still in this kind of position. Amagi eats some torpedoes, so that's helpful to me. If I can get him to show me a little bit of a side, I will definitely hit him as well. Duke of Aosta, unfortunately, is really, really low and is trying to use the smoke provided by the Shinonome to maybe, just maybe, finish off this Amagi before the Amagi gets into proximity spotting range. But I think apparently this Amagi was actually running a target acquisition module for whatever reason and ended up spotting the Duke of Aosta at like 3 km range. And you can figure out how this is going to end, right? The Amagi is going to kill him, but the Amagi is going to make a little bit of a mistake by showing just a little bit too much side, giving me a chance to hit him for a little bit of that remaining HP and securing kill number 3. Taking a quick look at the map once again, and you can start to see how this whole situation for us has basically not gone very well. The minute that northern group really just split up and each decided to kind of go their own way, well, we lost a lot of that momentum on that side. That one Cleveland that decided to go all the way to the middle of the map and now is deciding to go back, you can see the positioning, right? It's a waste of time to have done that. Nothing was accomplished by going to the middle. Instead, that group north got split up, right? Became an Amagi and only one Cleveland versus, let's say, an Amagi and 2 Clevelands. Had it been an Amagi and 2 Clevelands, probably would have been able to handle north a little bit better. Of course, the Eagle as well went to the middle, went towards the enemy cap, and then got himself killed. Like, useless positions are useless, right? That's the thing. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm just watching this battle go from something that we were ahead on, we were winning on, to a battle where things are just going worse and worse and worse. Good salvo onto the Scharnhorst again. You know, this is one of those things, right? Initially, if you had done the pincer correctly and we were getting tons of pressure from the other side, then a lot of these ships would have to choose who they would have to angle against. Now, of course, with the Amagi gone, the Bismarck gone, it's easy for the enemy team now to just turn around, angle me, and then deal with me. Of course, I'm obviously going to fight until the bitter end, because that is the way to go. There's a New Mexico here, low HP. New Mexico is going to be somewhat angled in a little bit, but at this amount of HP, just using armor piercing and aiming for the superstructure area, I am going to be able to get my kills. No matter how saturated the superstructure is, if I have overpen on superstructure, I'm still going to get 10% of my armor piercing shell in terms of damage. It just doesn't matter. He's not going to survive the next salvo. See, this one, he's pretty angled, right? And when you're dealing with targets like that, all you got to do is just aim a little bit higher. Don't aim for the waterline area. Just aim for the superstructure. And you're still going to get okay damage, even if you're using armor piercing against really angled targets. But there he goes. And there's my discount Kraken, which is really a squid. I don't know. The whole, like, hey, here's a 1 for 4 kills and then you'll get another 1 for 5 kills is a bit of a strange one, I guess. Anyhow, taking a look at the remaining enemy ships, seeing which one I can maybe get some good damage on. The Bismarck is okay. It's showing a little bit of a side. That's enough. I mean, the current angle, if you take a look at the minimap, yeah, that's good enough. Take a shot. Let's see if I can get some good damage on him. Spread looks okay. Kind of dispersed a bit horizontally, but should be alright if I am... Never mind. Never mind. Just never mind. 1.6 Sigma is pretty rough at times. It's just, you know, the old way that she used to behave when she had the 1.8 Sigma was a dream, and now her shells are just, yeah, they're kind of random at times, right? But I guess that's what they wanted to bring her in line with some of the other battleships. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to save this next salvo here for that Cleveland. Cleveland is really low, only 1,000 somewhat HP left, so if I can get rid of that Cleveland, I will first of all be able to kill secure that Kraken, and second of all, maybe bring the points back a little bit more in our direction, just a little bit, just bring it a little bit closer and just keep fighting. Leave that Cleveland alive. He gets into a good position, like behind an island or something, can pose an annoyance. And there we go. There is Kraken. So ring mission is now completed. Just over 100k damage right now. Unfortunately, team's pretty much gone, and the Shinonome against the Harakaze, that's not really a good fight for the Shinonome, especially since the Harakaze is still really healthy, and in a gunfight, Shinonome is not winning that. I potatoed that shot pretty badly. There goes my DD support. So now I'm pretty screwed because I'm either going to die to the Harakaze, I'm going to die to the Bismarck, dies to the Saipan, and my Ranger is on the other side of the map. Now, the Ranger does manage to kill the Scharnhorst, but there's pretty much no real way for us to win this. So yeah, gonna try to pick up what little damage I can still, obviously. You always want to aim for as much contribution as you can. But yeah, this is not gonna be a good fight. Yeah, just against the Harakaze and a Bismarck, he's gonna be really rough already, never mind this kind of situation. That Saipan's also gonna be coming for me too. And Normandy, no real A to speak of, so Saipan is basically gonna get guaranteed drop if the player who's playing knows what they're doing, and that Saipan definitely seems to know what he's doing. So yeah, there he goes. There's a strike coming in. And I might as well just surrender now. I mean, don't try to shoot like one remaining salvo at something, but I've pretty much given up. There's just not much I'm going to be able to do here. That strike is going to come in, and that's game. Normandy just has no AA at all whatsoever. There's a strike. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Ow, ow, ow. Yep, nope. GG. I mean, tried my best. I mean, hell, if you take a look at the enemy team, like, oh man, like, look at the number of kills they managed to get. So here we go, final results, 103,000 damage. With a Normandy in a tier 8 battle, which is not bad at all. Managed to get my Kraken, although I know most of those were kill secures. Shh, I know. And in terms of where I placed on the team, I was top of the team, but take a look at the enemy team there. Oh my goodness, right? Like, their Saipan had 52 plane kills. Their Bismarck got a Kraken as well. Saipan picked up 3 kills, so yeah, I pretty much had no chance there, but all in all, that's the game, and it is ring mission number 2 complete. So once again, folks, hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, for the people who saved me last time by voting for me in the World of Warships video, thank you for that, folks, giving me a chance at round 2. And hopefully, if I need your help again, please continue to support me. So until next time, folks, take care of yourselves, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all then.